Good evening, everyone. Once again, I will welcome everyone for today's live session. Hope I'm audible. Somebody has written that I'm not audible. Am I audible right now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for confirmation. So let's start today's live session. So when you heard the term learning, what's come into your mind? First thing. Can somebody share their idea? What come the first thing into their mind? I want one or two participants to answer this.
Gaining knowledge.
Sorry, once again.
Gaining knowledge.
Gaining knowledge. That's very good. I want.
Absorbing from your environment.
Yeah, that's a very lovely answer. One more. I'm expecting one or two more.
Getting the information, ma'am.
Yes, getting information. That's also a nice. So, though learning is a very simple term, but still it's associated with so many learning theories also. Psychologists has developed many theories based upon that simple scenario that you have already shared. Gathering knowledge, getting information from the environment. Through this is the most important and challenging aspect of psychology. Many psychologists has developed their own observational theories. So today we are going to learn about these theories, a little bit of theories, how a child learns. Will you agree with me that learning is a continuous process from womb to tomb? I mean, from the birth to till death. Will you agree with me or not? You have a different perception regarding that?
Yes, ma'am, we agree.
Yes.
So, how would you describe learning? When we are learning something, maybe it's a audible part or maybe it's a video. Like some of you are already learning your study materials, watching videos. Today, here also, we are learning something. I will learn something from your inputs and you will learn from my inputs. So learning is also involved in many other aspects of life. You learn to ride a bicycle, you learn to cook, you learn to dress yourself, learn to get ready. This is nothing related to learning and education. This, I mean, not on the books and the copies we learn in the school. These are all the learning that we have gathered from the stimulus from the environment. Learning influence behavior to such a great extent that it is one of the most important concepts that psychology studies. In fact, learning occupies a very important place in your life. Most of what we do or do not influence what we learn and we have not yet learned. So learning occurs right from the birth to the child and process until he or she dies. Learning is acquired due to prior experience who has gained. A child may learn from their environment continuously, consciously, and unconsciously. And in the process, their behavior is being modified either negatively or positively. However, the essence of enrolling in the school involves acquiring knowledge and skills through experience. Learning can be described as a process by which an individual acquires a novel idea to experience to a situation, retain and applies the idea, skills, and knowledge in solving the problems they face day to day in their life, modifies one behavior by the experience gained by the past and making the change permanent. So can anybody give me a brief example when our learning influence our behavior? They can share their own experience also. Anyone would like to share their idea that how they had learned social consequences by observing others and change their own behavior? Like
Ma'am, like in
children,
school,
can you be a little louder?
yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So in school, we used to have a subject called moral science.
Mm-hmm.
Moral science, and from there we used to learn how to behave in day-to-day life, how to keep ourselves motivated, disciplined, and good people.
Very
So,
good.
so
Very
from
good.
that moral science subject, I learned a lot as a child.
Very good. That's a very nice example. So learning is influenced by teaching or teachers. So what we learn in the school, like already somebody has shared, like she has learned so many things from the school moral science book. So somebody have teach that kid, this is the moral and you should be behave like this. So permanently there's a change in the child behavior. So the learning is influenced and there is a permanent change in the behavior of the child. So now we will read the definition. Learning is a process that leads to change which occur as a result of experience and increase the potential for improved performance and future learning. The change in the learner may happen at the level of knowledge, attitude, or behavior. So learning has been defined in many ways. A layman learning refers to knowing something. We learn what we are taught. To some, it is the process of acquiring knowledge. Psychologists do not agree that this is the simplistic way a layman is giving is about the learning. For a psychological point of view, learning is defined as relatively more permanent change in the behavior that occurs as a result of experience or practice. Then go for. So there are various definition of learning. We will just the most important thing I have gathered here and noted down. The first one I have already told. And in the education, what is the definition of learning in education? Learning is a lifelong process of transforming information and experience into knowledge, skills, and behavior. On the other hand, education is just one approach to learning. It is a process where society passes the knowledge, values, and skills from one generation to another. So education is only one approach. There are so many approaches. Like we learn through observe, we learn through hearing. It's not only about the education. We go to school and we learn something. It's not like only that. Okay, learning can be throughout the life, whether it is at home, in school, or in the society. So Skinner, a renowned psychologist, has defined learning is a process of progressive behavior adaptation. And another is learning occurs when the experience causes a relatively permanent change in an individual knowledge and behavior. So if we quickly go on through with this definition, we can see that there is some key words mentioned everywhere. That is permanent change, behavior, and experience. These definitions mainly focus on four attributes. What are the four attributes? This is permanent change, behavior, and experience. Learning involves a change in the behavior. Is it good or bad? The change in behavior must be relatively permanent. For instance, a temporary change in behavior due to the fatigue, illness, it's not going to consider as learning. Only change in behavior acquired through experience is considered as learning. Experience may be acquired directly through the practice or practice is considered learning. It's maybe from the direct observation or through practice. The child brings changes in their behavior after gaining experiences over the environment. So let's go with the example that will be helped to elaborate it little. While a child is approaching a burning a matchstick, we all already have seen that. And the little kid, he is going to burn a matchsticks. What happened? He's not aware what's going to happen. So he's just holding. At the end of the time, at the end of the sticks, he just got burned. So he just throw the matches. This is the first thing, first experience or first encounter with the environment. So whenever the next time the child is again going to burn a matches, he will be more careful. Is it? We have already experienced most of the person. Even it's happened with us also. So when it's happened, we say that child has learned that if one touches a flame, one gets burned. In this way, we say that the experience gain bring a change in the behavior, permanent change in the behavior of the child. Finally, learning is universal and continuous. It is not confined to our school. As a matter of fact, learning is a lifelong process. It is not limited to the age, sex, race, gender, socioeconomical condition. It's not restricted to any of this bias. So anybody had any doubt till now? Any doubt till now?
No.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
So let's go to the another slide. That evolving theories of learning. So there are so many theories in the learning, but as we are mostly dealing with the learning of a child, okay, and we are look into the outcome. So I have noted down only the two type of theories, that is behaviorism and cognitism. We will only deal with this two. So what is behaviorism? First, let's quickly gone through what does it mean by learning theories. In the simple terms, we can say that theories of learning are the ideas about the way students learn and gather information and how they retain it. The retain of information is called memory. This principle provides different framework that teachers can use to adopt the students' diverse learning style and the academic needs. So, can anybody tell me, is learning theory important? We will get some information from learning theories. If you know the learning theories, can we get a quick overview of a student in the classroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for your input. Yes, we can. Learning theories are very important. Why these learning theories are important? Learning theories are important because they allow the teacher to understand how their student learn. Through using different learning materials, teacher can develop more comprehensive lesson plan and help the student to find more success in education. So this is the learning theories and importance of learning theories. Now we come to what is behaviorism. So behaviorism is focused on that idea that behaviors are learned through interaction with the environment. So in this type of learning theories, there is a belief that there is a continuous interaction between the environments and the child. This learning theory stated that behaviors are learned from the environment and says that innate or inherited factors have a very little influence on behavior. Behaviorism is a key for educator because it impacts how students react and behave in the classroom and suggests the teachers how to behave directly to influence their students' learning. It also helps the teacher to understand that students' home environment and lifestyle can be interacting their behavior, helping them to see objectively and work to assist with the environment. And another is cognitivism. Cognitivism is a learning theory that focuses on how information is received, organized, stored, and retrieved by the mind. It uses the mind as an information processor, like a computer. Therefore, cognitivism looks beyond observational behaviors, viewing learning as an internal mental process. When we ask some important question or evoking questions in the classes, we will see that students think for some time and they come up with different ideas. So from this ideas, like in the starting I had asked you some questions of what your idea about learning, so we get some small inputs, some stimulus, and their experience what about learning. So in the classroom also, when we are teaching some content, we always ask some evoking question before starting the lesson. Where does answers come? They don't know about the lessons, but still they are able to answer. That's the interaction between the student and the environment. So now we will discuss about behaviorism. Sorry. The first thing in the behaviorism is conditioning. Conditioning in psychology, a behavioral process whereby a response becomes more frequent or more predictable in a given environment, is a result of reinforcement. With reinforcement typically being a stimulus or reward for a desirable response. So what is stimulus? In the psychology, the stimulus and reaction or response is the main two key terms. So what is stimulus? Stimulus is anything. It can be any audio, video, any person, anything that triggers the psychological behavior to be a change that can lead to a permanent change. That's a stimulus. Is it clear? First, you need to understand what is stimulus, because throughout the learning, there is always the term will keep repeating, the stimulus and the response.
Ma'am, please repeat once stimulus meaning.
Okay, stimulus meaning anything, any, maybe it's a video, it's a audio, it's a person, it's just a few words, a line, anything that can lead to a permanent change psychologically and physiologically, a change into the child's behaviors. Is it clear? It can be anything, just a video, just an image, or a person, but it should be lead to any change, in permanent change into the child learning. That's a stimulus. We term this inputs. We can consider it input. In psychology, this input is considered a stimulus. So conditioning is a form of learning which either have a given stimulus, that is signals, become increasingly effective in evoking response. A response, what is a response? A response occurs with increasing regularity in a well-specified and stable environment. The type of reinforcements used will determine the outcome. So again, the stimulus and the response. Stimulus is the signal and response, how the child will learn or behave. That is the response. Then again, we have come across with the term that is reinforcement. Reinforcement may refer to anything that increases the probability that a response will offer. So in general terms, we teach a reinforcement like the child is doing something good in the class. He had completed or she had completed her homework very fast. We just pat the child and tell, okay, that's very good. This is a reinforcement. We are giving verbal reinforcement to the child to keep repeating or increasing the behavior. The next, and we can expect next time also the child will perform good in the class. That is the reinforcement. Reinforcement plays a central role in the learning process. According to the law of effect, reinforcement can be defined as anything that both increase the strength of the response and tend to induce the repetition of the behavior that should not be done. Reinforcement may increase the strength of the response, whether it is positive or negative. Reinforcement might involve presenting a praise. This I have already told, that patting the child or saying, very good, you have done a great job. This is a reinforcer. Immediately after a child puts away their toys, by reinforcing the desired behavior with praise, the child is more likely to perform the same action again in the future. So there is a two type of reinforcement. One is positive reinforcement and what is negative reinforcement. So, do you have any idea what is positive reinforcement? Positive reinforcement is always a reward that is related to increase the frequency of the behavior.
It's encouraging words like good, well done.
Huh. Yes, it's true. And it is always related. There is another key factor is there. It is always related with the desirable outcome of the positive behavior. Like a child,
The process of encouraging.
yeah, the process is encouraging is reinforcement.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But there is a two type of reinforcement. That is a positive reinforcement and there is a negative reinforcement. So there is a difference. Like there is a positive part and the negative part. So we mostly confuse that negative reinforcement means is punishment. No, it's not the punishment. It's also a reward. But there, the giving the rewards, there is a difference. Positive reinforcement when the child is doing good and we are expecting to done more good, that the child will perform good in the exams, that will be considered, and we are saying, okay, you have got good marks, so next time you will get more marks, we are expecting you will be stand first in the class. That is positive responses. Again, we are rewarding a child when the child used to hit others in the school, in the classroom or classmates.
Ma'am, what do you mean by
So
conditioning?
it's the topic is already over. Just wait for a few minutes when we will discuss after the question answer session. I will discuss what is conditioning. Let me continue with the flow. Okay. So like positive reinforcement, where it's also reward. Sorry, we have discussed positive reinforcement. Now negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement is also rewarding a child, but the reward is going when a undesirable behavior, the frequency of any undesirable behavior is reduced. Like a child is hitting other classmate in the classroom. One day, that might be he is hitting 4 child in the class. One day he reduced it to 2. So that time the teacher is praising the kid that okay, you are good today, you behave like a good boy, so next time also behave good. So the teacher give him a badge of good boy or class nice performance or a smiley, something like that. This is the negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement is also reward, but the reward is giving when the frequency of undesirable behavior is reduced. And positive reinforcement is giving. This is also a reward, but this is produced. This is given to the child when the child is doing the behavior. The frequency of the desirable behavior is increased. Okay, and the motivation. As a teacher, no need to discuss about the motivation. As I know, motivation is any external stimuli that help to acquire more knowledge from the environment. No, short, because today we will discussing about the theories. So let's go to the theories. So first theory of behaviorism theories is Pavlov classical conditioning and Skinner operant conditioning. Like Pavlov was basically a physiologist. He had examined on a dog that we all learned about our before our class 10th about this experiment. He put a dog into a cage and he start ring a bell, and after the bell ring he produced food to the dog. So after providing training to the dog for some times, what he did, he just ring the bell and the dog starts saliving. But there was no food, still the dog starts saliving. This is the classical conditioning. That the dog already know how to salivate. It's already present, but it's associated with the ringing of the bell. This is the classical conditioning. And operant conditioning, like as the picture you can show, the dog is ringing the bell. So after somehow the dog was trained that if he is able to ring the bell, the food will be again produced. This is the operant conditioning. So stimulus, both the stimulus is giving from the outside. The bell, one stimulus, the dog learn how to ring the bell. He starts saliving, he get the food. This is the operant conditioning. And the classical conditioning, the dog know how to salivate. If he see the food, he starts salivating. This is associated with ringing the bell. Is it clear? Classical conditioning, one condition is already present in the person or the child. If I consider it as a child, the child know how to behave. But in the classroom, the teacher praise again and again the child. So child performing good in the class. He's scoring good. He's behaving good. This is the classical conditioning. And by observing that kid, one kid learn how to behave good in the class. This is the operant conditioning. Okay, let's go to.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, sure.
Please give one more example on classical and operant behaviorism.
Classical and operant.
Yes, ma'am.
Handwriting of a kid is very good. In the class standard of UKG, handwriting of one kid is very good. So usually teachers every day praising the kid that, okay, it's a very nice handwriting, keep going, very good, practice more. Next time you will be able to get the prize for your handwriting. So the child keep improving. His handwriting is getting better and better with praise and day. This is classical condition. The handwriting is already good. The child is getting rewards by praise from the teacher. So he is improving his behavior. This is the classical conditioning. At the same time, one kid, he thought.
Ma'am, droll means behavior in classical. Droll.
It's drool. Drool.
Drool.
So after everyday class, one kid learned that if he start writing very good, he will also get the reward from the teacher. This is the operant conditioning. Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Avilasha, is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Again, another behaviorism learning theory is Thorndike puzzle box experiment. So there is nothing to explain. Can you see the pictures? There is a box. Okay, there is a puzzle box. One cat was inside the box, and there was some stimulus. This is the fish. So somehow, with like various activities, the cat get to know if you pull the lever, the door will be opened, and the cat will be able to get his food. So there is a stimulus. What is the stimulus? Here, what is the stimulus?
Fish?
Yeah, very good. The fish is the stimulus. And what is the response? Sonu, what is the response?
Open door.
Sonu Gupta?
Yes, ma'am.
Response here in the Thorndike puzzle box?
Ma'am,
Cat is outside and eating fish.
What is the response? What the cat did? What was the response of the cat?
Ma'am, response is trying to open the door, ma'am.
Try to open the door to eat the
That
fish.
is the behavioral changes. That is the learning process. The response
It
is?
is the learning process to catch the fish.
The response was that cat learned how to open the lever.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is all described by the pictures. If anybody had any query regarding that, they can ask me, or I will go to the next slide.
Next slide, ma'am.
The second is again the behaviorism learning theory, the Bandura social learning theories. And the experiment is called Bobo doll experiment. We all know about Bobo doll. Bobo doll that we in our childhood we used to play a big doll. In the below there is some weight. We just keep hitting the doll and just keep coming back. This is the Bobo doll. Okay, so what psychologist Bandura did, he took 36 girls and 36 boys for his experiment. He divided that group into 24, 24, or 24. 24 girls, 24 boys, and 24 groups. There is a mixed group where they are the control group. So for first group, they observed some adults. They are hitting the Bobo doll. And another group, they didn't see another model. Like one is female model and one is male model. So So they exposed in both the model. There is a one male group, one female group, and one control group. In the control group is a mixed group. So for group 1, they experience 2 model. One is male and one is female. They are hitting the Bobo doll. And the same happened with the second group also. But the third group, they didn't see any aggressive behavior into the adult. They just observed the Bobo doll. So after that, every child was sent into a room where there was a very lucrative toys are there. And after playing for 10 to 15 minutes, they told that no, you cannot play with that. It's for other kids. So there was just a response to initiate their aggressiveness. And they sent to the another room where there was a present of the Bobo doll and some other like colors, crayons, some soft toys are there. So the scientists observed that the kids start hitting the Bobo doll. And there is a pattern, like the male, they used to be more aggressive, the female are less aggressive. And they have observed both the model, male and female. The kids, they prone to behave, the male kids, they are more prone to behave physical abuse for the Bobo doll, where the girls, they are more prone to verbal abusive to the Bobo doll. And the control group, those who are didn't observe any aggressive behavior into the adults, they did hit, they played, but there was no aggressive behavior into their behaviors. So there is a observational learning. They have observed that the adult is hitting the Bobo doll, so that the kids concluded, okay, it's fine, we can hit the Bobo doll. This is the social observational learning theory. Like in the roads also, we can see that somebody is spitting on the road. So some people think, okay, it's okay, we can throw the garbage into the road, we can spit into the road. This is the social observational theories. But in some other countries, you will go, nobody is spitting on the road, nobody is throwing garbage in the road, because it's a social learning theories. There are rules. In our culture also, there are rules. But as somebody is doing, we can do it. It's fair enough. So this is also a learning theories. We are observing someone, whether it is negative or positive, but there is a permanent change into the behavior. Is another behaviorism theory.
Ma'am, what do you mean by atrocious behavior?
Aggressive behavior. What do you mean by aggressive behavior, Sonu?
Ma'am, atrocious mean.
No, atrocious, it's aggressive. Okay, I just mentioned aggressive behavior. Now we come to cognitivism. This cognitivism is called a cognitive learning theory. Cognitive is a learning theory that focuses on how information is received, organized, stored, and retrieved by the mind. And there is a 4th step on cognitive learning theory. One is attention. How much the kids is focused on the topic. In the classroom, if you consider it in the classroom scenario, classroom environment, that how much the child is focused on the topic or what the teacher is explaining. Then process is learning. Process of learning means how much information the kids is getting from the lectures or the diagram the teacher is presenting in the class, that is acquiring knowledge. And then memory, how much he can retain. The child can retain how much information from the acquisition of the knowledge. Then process of transfer. The memory, he has already focused, he had learned the knowledge, then he has retained the knowledge. Now he is going to implement this knowledge into his day-to-day life. This is the 4 key factor of cognitivism behavioral learning theory. First is Jean Piaget theory of social learning. So there are 4 stages, from sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational. And you can see from the pictures, there is age differences also. And the age, the time frame, like from birth to 2 years is the sensory motor phase. From 2 to 7, there is a pre-operational phase. And 7 to 12 is concrete operational phase. And after that, after beyond 12, till that is formal operational phase. We will go deep into this pages. During the earliest stages of cognitive development, infants and toddlers acquire knowledge through sensory experiences and manipulating objects by touch. The simple sense is the touch. A child's entire experience at the earliest period of the stage occur by reflex senses and motor responses. How the major characteristic of this stage is know the world through movement and sensation. Learn about the world through basic actions such as sucking, grasping, looking, and listening. Learn that things continue to exist when even when they cannot see. Like the child can hear the voice of the mother. He or she can't see that her or his mother is present in the room. But if mother is talking outside the room, the child will be calm. Realize that they are a separate being from the people or object around them. Realize that their action can cause things to happen in the world around them. During this stage, children go through a period of dramatic growth. The growth is very fast. And learning is also associated with this fast growth. So learning is also very fast. As kids interact with their environment, they continually make new discoveries about how the world looks. Again, the second stage, that is pre-operational stage. The foundation of language development may happen being laid during this stage. But the emergence of language is one of the major hallmark of the pre-operational stage of development. So let's see what are the characteristics of this stage. Being of things symbolically to learn and to use words and pictures that represent the objects. They are now observing the pictures, the concrete object around the kids. They now start observing. Tend to be egocentric and struggle to see things from the perspective of others. Getting better with language and thinking, but still tend to think in very concrete terms. What they are saying, they are just observe. They are concluding on based on that. At this age, kids learn through pretend play, then hide and seek, or they sometimes pretend as like mother. This is called pretend play. Still struggling with logic, taking the point of view of others people, they also often struggle with understanding the idea of constancy. Children become much more skilled and pretend play during the stage of development. Then the third stage is the concrete operational stage. While children are still very concrete and literally in their thinking at this point of development, they become much more to use logics. They become egocentric of the previous stage and disappear as kids become better to thinking about how the people will perceive the person. And what are the major characteristics of this stage? That they start beginning to think more logically about the concrete event around the kids. Being to understand the concept of conversation and the amount. With the example, if I explain, if you put two cups, one is thick, white, and another is just skinny but tall. You pour liquid into that, and the 7 to 11 years age, the child will be able to tell that whether the liquid in both the cup is same or which cup have more liquid or less liquid. So they start thinking concrete object more logically. Being using inductive logic and reasoning for specific information to general principle. That's I already explained. Like they become more logical. They think rationally and they will respond or react in the manners. While thinking become much more logical during the concrete operational stage, it can also be very rigid. Kids at this point is developed tend to struggle with abstract and hypothetical concepts. During this stage, children become less egocentric and began to think about how other people might think and feel. In kids in concrete operational stage also begin to understand that their thoughts are unique to them, and then they try to prove else necessary if other thoughts, beliefs, and opinions. It's their thoughts is more important from the others, and they think more logically, more rationally, and they try to put their logic into other people. Then the stage 4, that is formal operational stage. And the final stage of Piaget's theory involved the increase in logic, the ability to choose deductive reasoning, and the understand the abstract idea. Now they move from concrete idea to abstract idea. Then hypothetically they will able to see. They are not able to see the object, but still they are able to think and imagine about the logic related to the idea, image, person, whatever it is, whatever the stimulus they are getting. At this point, adolescents and young adults become capable seeing multiple potential solutions to problem and think more scientifically about the world around them. What is the characteristic? They start thinking abstractly and they able to reasoning problems hypothetically. Begin to think more about moral, philosophy, ethics, social, political issues. Begin to use deductive logic more effectively from general principle to specific information. It is important to note that Piaget's kids do not just add more information and knowledge to their existing knowledge as they get older. Just as add-on information. They already have the information, but they collect more information and just add on to their existence information. So here, Piaget suggests few more terms that is related to this thing. And the first thing is schema. So we already have an image and we are adding more information. This here, the Piaget has provide some key factors, key words. The first one is a schema. Schema describe both the mental and physical action involved in understanding and knowledging. Schemas are categorized of knowledge that help us to interpret and understand the world. Let's go through the example. A child may have a schema about a type of animal, such as a dog. If the child's sole experience was being with the small dogs, the child might believe that all the dogs are small, furry, and have 4 legs. Suppose then the child encounters with an enormous dog. The child will take in this new information, modifying the previous existing schemas to include new observation. So schema is already have an idea. Again, one information is coming. The child is modifying his existing schema image and accumulation information. Then assimilation. Assimilation is a process of taking new information into already existing schemas. The process is somehow subjective because we tend to modify experience in information slightly to fit into our pre-existing beliefs. The example already told, seeing a dog and leveling a dog in case of assimilating the animal into the child dog schema. And there is another another term is accommodation. Another part of adaptation is the ability to exchange existing schemas in light of new information. The process is known accommodation. The child have the image, again get into some information, acquired knowledge, again modifying his schemas and accommodate into new schemas. So accommodation is another part of adaptation, is the ability to exchange existing schemas in new light of new information. The process is known accommodation. New schemas may also be developed during the process. And another term that is not directly linked with this schema and assimilation and accommodation, but it's a very important one, that is a equilibration. Equilibration, what? There is a balance between the assimilation and accommodation. That is maintaining a balance. The child already has an image. He is gathering information from the environment and try to maintain a balance with existing schemas. That is called equilibration.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Equilibration means cognitive balance of new information with old information. Is it correct, ma'am? Equilibration is cognitive balance of new information with old information.
Yes. Already has a schema. Old information is the schema.
Yes, ma'am.
Again getting information from the environment, that is assimilation.
Yes.
They are changing their schemas, that is accommodation. And the child is continuously trying to balance this assimilation and accommodation.
Okay. That is called equilibration.
Equilibration.
Oh.
Ma'am, can you give me one example for equilibration?
There is no specific example for equilibration. It's a stage, it's a hypothetical stage. Well, the child is continuous struggling what he has already learned and what new information is getting. The child is getting every day. The child is getting new information from the environment, and he's already have some pre-existing information about. If we talk about the dog, the child had encountered through play or through pictures. Child has gathered information that the dogs have 4 legs. It's furry and it's small in size. So one
Ma'am,
day, sorry.
can I tell one more example, ma'am?
Sure.
If one child saw one dog, like 4 legs, 2 ears, one tail, he asked his mother, like, no, what is this animal? He already got information from his mother. It is dog. When he saw another animal like dog and or cat, he was in confusion mode. Like it is dog, so all the 4 legs, one tail, 2 ears, like every animal is dog. So what is that condition, ma'am?
This is first from the mother got the information, that is schema.
Okay.
Acquiring knowledge through seeing a cat. This is assimilation.
Simulation. And when he got existing knowledge to new knowledge,
That is
That is
accommodation.
what,
And okay, then he learned that not all the 4 legs animal fur, that is not the dog. Maybe it's a cat, or maybe it's a horse, or some other animal. So that is accommodation. So there in between there is a stage when the child continuously fighting with his already existing information, though okay, no, or not all the dogs are same. There is a difference between the dog and the cat. That is the concept. To adopt the concept, this stage is called equilibration.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
So again, now the cognitive learning theories, that is the moral theory of moral development. Kohlberg's theory of moral development is a theory that focuses on how children develop moral. It's to explain the theory, to experiment this theory, Kohlberg used a understanding ethical dimension. He used a fictional stories. The story was like this. There was a person, his name was Hinch, and his wife was dying for a particular type of cancer. Doctor said a new drug might save her. The drug has been discovered by a local chemist. And the Hinch tried to desperate to buy some drugs from the chemist. But the chemist was charging 10 times money the cost of making the drugs. And this was much more than the person can afford. So what the person can, he tried to raise money to help her family and friends. And he explained to the chemist that his wife was dying and asked him could give the drug in the cheaper and later he will pay the rest of the money. But the chemist refused, saying that he had discovered the drug and was using to make money from it. The husband was desperate to save his wife's life. So rather the night he broke to the chemist shop and stole the drug. So there is to understand this situation, there is an ethical dilemma that whether the husband is right. If the husband is right, why? If the husband is wrong, then why? This was the base of this moral development theory. So Kohlberg suggested there is a 6 stage of moral development. That is, first is pre-conventional morality. And there is another 2 stage, that is obedience and punishment. The earliest stage of moral development, obedience and punishment, are especially common in young children. But adults are also capable of expressing this type of reasoning. According to Kohlberg, the people at this stage see rules as fixed and absolute. Obeying the rules is important because it is the way to avoid punishment. And the stage 2 is individualism and exchange. At the individualism and exchange stage of moral development, children account for individual points of view and judge action on how they serve individual needs. In the Hinch dilemma, the children argued that the best course of action was choice the best to serve the person's need. Reciprocate is possibly at the point of this moral development. Then the second stage is conventional morality. Again, there is a two stage, that is the developing good interpersonal relationship and maintaining social order. So maintaining good personal and interpersonal relationship often offered to as a good boy or good girl image. The stage of interpersonal relationship or moral development is focused mainly on the social expectations from the person, how the person will be judged, how the kid will be judged socially. Maintaining social order. The stage is focused on ensuring that the social order is maintained. At this stage, the moral development, people being to consider society as a whole. The society is have all the right to decide the person is right or wrong. So the children able to think like that, and based on them, they start making judgments. They focus on maintaining law and order by following the rules. They're more emphasized on rules, regulations maintained by the society, and they are very aware about their duties. And the third is post-conventional morality. Here is also again two stage, that is social contract and individual right and universal principle. So what is social contract and individual rights? Every individual person has his own set of beliefs. The idea of social contract and individual right cause people in the next stage of begin to account differentiating values, opinions and beliefs to the other people. Rules of law are more important for maintaining a society, but members of the society should agree upon their standards. The society will make a rules, and others, the person who are not in the advisory committee, they have to maintain the rules. That is the moral development, stage by stage development of morality. And then it is universal principle. Kohlberg's final level of moral reasoning is based on universal ethical principle and abstract reasoning. That is hypothetical moral development. Okay, if I do that, can be happen. The person will behave like this. This is the totally hypothetical. It's individual thought based on the hypothetical ideas. At this stage, people follow this internal personalized principle of justice. Even the conflicts, again, they had a conflict about their own thoughts also. And just once they thought, okay, this is right. After a few seconds, they no, I'm doing wrong. We all face this kind of dilemma. So this is the stage of moral development. With ages, first is they try to, okay, like it will be very easy to understand when I'll give you an example. Like when they are kids, they try to avoid punishment. How? They behave properly in the class, or they think the teacher will scold me. So behaving properly in the class is avoiding the punishment. After that, they develop a stage where what they want to do, they do. And they try to escape themselves from others should not get the information what exactly they do. This is a self-insert. They're doing what they want to do, but they try to hide their action from others. Again, when they grow up, they have an image good boy, good girl attitude. They behave very nicely, behave properly. Maybe it's contradicted with their self-interest, but still they behave like that. They focus on the rules, on the society, the emphasis on the regulations, principles. Then social interact. They individualized principles. Everybody has their own set of beliefs, and they try to match their beliefs with social contracts with individual principle based on the universal law and rules. So this is the stages of moral development. So the next is Vygotsky social cultural theory. So let's start this theory with the very nice examples. So most of us know how to ride a bicycle. So riding a bicycle, there is a 3 steps. According to Vygotsky, there is a 3 step. The first step, the child thinking that here the circles you can see, the bigger cycle beyond my reach. The child is thinking like that, I won't be able to ride a bicycle. So he's very scared. He is holding the handle very tightly, his very rigid body, because he know I can't do that. So here, a more knowledgeable person who know already how to, he is older, he or she is older, and he know how to teach a kid to ride a bicycle. That is a more knowledgeable person. that person is come into the scenario. So what that person is doing, the person is helping the kids to learn the bicycle, holding the seat from the back, helping to maintain the balance. So now the child is more comfortable. He starts slowly doing the paddling, and the more the elder person, maybe his father, mother, elder brother, whoever there is, he is helping the kids to ride the bicycle, and slowly the kids start paddling. And now he had learned, okay, this is the way to go. So gradually the child learned to independently do paddling. But that's then the more knowledgeable person, the elder person, is reducing the support. Initially he is holding the handle and the child from the back from giving balance. Now he slowly remove the handle, just holding the child and maintaining the balance. Then slowly he is moving his hand. This is called scaffolding. Slowly removing the support. This is the Vygotsky's term. This phase is scaffolding. So in the second circle, we can say what I can learn with the help. Here, the more knowledgeable others come, the technology support, whatever important for learning is come, and there is a zone when the child is slowly developing the knowledge, slowly developing the skills and performing this activity independently. So what I can learn now, it's my own. This is the learning complete. So there is three important key factors of Vygotsky's social learning theory. That is zone of proximal development, more knowledgeable others, and scaffolding. Scaffolding, more knowledgeable others, and zone of these two terms exist in the zone of proximal development. Well, the child is slowly, with support, the child is slowly learning and developing the skills. This is the zone of proximal development. Should I go into deep, or these examples is enough to understand? It's a bit confusing because there is some key roles, key factors. Should I go into deep, or the examples is enough to explain this learning theories? Okay, so no comments. So I think
You can
clear.
go deep.
Sorry?
You can go deep.
I can go deep. Okay, actually, if I go into deep, the things will be same. So I would like to know from you, what do you think about the scaffolding? What exactly is meaning scaffolding from you, for you? Anybody? What is
taking a child to a different level from the starting to the higher level to encourage them in doing their things independently.
Very good. So scaffolding is giving or providing support to help the child to become more independent. Okay, so one term is already cleared. So second is more knowledgeable others. More knowledgeable others, any elder person or any technology, any tools that support directly or indirectly the kids to learn or achieve what they want to learn. So new skills, new knowledge, new skills. Like, as if I take examples of yours, you are studying the study material, and if you have any doubt, you get back to me. So here, the more eligible person is the study material. The study material have more information from you. So it's not a person. It's just some information. It's a booklet form. It's a PDF there, but it's considered as a more knowledgeable others. And further, to increase the level, here I'm here to guide you all, what to clear all your doubts. So I'm a level ahead. There is a various level. Okay, so if I'm not able to clear your doubts, I will refer other books. If then also I'm not clear, I will refer to my seniors. Like, see, this is the scenario, can you please explain to me? So this all come under zone of proximal development. Here you are developing new skill, I'm developing new skills with the support of others. Then we become independent and we learn new skills, we gather new information. So this is all about social learning theory of Vygotsky. And then the importance of learning theory. So as we have already discussed, like all the learning theories, I would like to know how you will conclude the importance of learning theories. Anything, I mean, feel free. If it's wrong also, we will not going to judge. It's okay. We are also learning. Today is a learning session. I will learn something from you and you will learn something from me. So I would like to know from you, some of you, like what's your conclusion? Why we should learn about learning? Are you agree with me that you should learn the learning theories as a teacher or a parent? Who all are agree? Raise their hand. Okay, and see, so many people are agree with me that they should know about the learning theories. Okay, so why?
Ma'am, I am Mrs. Shweta Tiwari. I am speaking from Pune,
Okay,
and I'm working here as a special educator. And I have
I
actually
welcome
joined
you,
the session
Shweta,
late.
to share your
Thank you,
knowledge.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Sure, ma'am. Actually, I'm a parent also, and I have a son who was on the spectrum, and yes, he is big now. But yes, I mean, I could only hear your session at 6:30, but whatever I understood, it's really good, and the information is wonderful. I mean, we need to know a lot of things about our children. At present, the school where I'm working, I have some children who are at very milder level.
Okay.
But yes, whatever you have explained, like helping to understand the student, predicting future behaviors, help to develop more comprehensive learning strategies,
Very good.
and maximize the learning potential. This is so important, ma'am, because I am not a psychologist, I am a special educator. But I really want to know all these things because what I am understanding, like some children, they are having sometimes very stubborn behaviors, and sometimes we don't know exactly why those behaviors are coming.
Yeah.
But what are the strategies we can use to calm them down or to enhance their learning? That's what I really want to understand, ma'am.
Yeah.
In school at present,
Actually,
yes, ma'am. Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
Actually, with knowing this learning theory, what we can do, we can make the learning more comprehensive.
Correct, ma'am.
Everybody has different individual needs to learn. The
Right,
same
right,
scenario, if we are observing a movie, but we are, I mean, reading a story, we will come with different ideas.
correct.
Somebody will like the environment, somebody will like some new words. Everybody's learning will be different. Somebody will able to
Right,
draw a picture from the story. Everybody's learning is different. Is they wrong?
right,
Is they right? But even the writer has a different perspective. But nobody
correct.
is wrong. Everybody is right.
Right,
They have just
right,
different perspective of each and everyone.
correct.
Ma'am,
Very true.
Yeah.
ma'am, this ABT, RBT, and CBT comes under learning theories.
No, this doesn't come
Huh?
under learning theories.
Okay.
Learning theory is a different part of psychology. And this you are talking about, these are also coming under theories. Sorry, therapies. Okay, so as a teacher or parents, learning through understanding, through have a brief idea about the learning theories, we are able to understand the kids more. We are able to understand the students more. We are observing somebody is spitting in the class. Then
Ma'am,
we can go back and understand what exactly the reason while the kids is spitting on the floor. Either we can see that the kids had observed somebody is spitting in the code, or he is showing some aggressive behavior, maybe some discomfort. So we can track back the experience, what exactly happened to the kid and why he is behaving like that. Then again, we had talked about reinforcement. Here comes negative reinforcement because it's an undesirable behavior. With through rewarding, if we reduce the frequency of any undesirable behavior, that is negative reinforcement. And where is Sonu? Sonu was talking about some conditioning. He wants to know about. He left. Sonu, are you here? No, I think he left. Okay. So, predict the future behavior. We are giving some input and how the child will react. We can predict the behaviors and help to develop more comprehensive learning strategies. Right? We can accommodate the lesson plan. We can accommodate, as we are teachers or parents, we will directly or indirectly focus into the education part also. So here the education part is also taken care of by understanding the learning theories and maximize the learning potential, that the outcome. This is the stimulus is giving and that will be the response that we can correlate. Okay, that and that will help to maximize the learning potential.
Ma'am, I have to say something here. Actually, what happens is that
That
in
is the
case,
end of
like,
this session. Okay, now I
yeah,
am closing the PPT. Now we can go for some discussions. Yeah.
ma'am, actually in the school, like whenever we have the children who are on the special need for any kind of, difficulties, environment really matters a lot, because how the peer is, treating that child, how the teachers are treating that child,
Mm-hmm.
it is such a big thing which is actually the cause of a behavior in any child actually. All children, they have ability to learn and they can learn at a good level. That's what I have observed till now. And once we use the positive motivation method with these children, it really does wonders with them, ma'am. So
Yeah.
we have different methods. Yes,
Reinforcement
ma'am.
always.
Reinforcement, yeah.
Reinforcement always work better than punishment. That's what the
Absolutely.
psychologist has said. Punishment is not negative reinforcement. It's don't
Right, ma'am.
confuse. Punishment is completely different strategies, and negative reinforcement is just reduce the frequency of undesirable behavior through rewards. It's not punishment.
But ma'am, what I have till now noticed, I have a child in my school who is at the fourth standard now. What
Mm-hmm.
happens with him is he's on medication also. Like in case anything, like anything, any word also, if we are going to use, like which is going to say control him or even scold him, he reacts. He just he gets angry, ma'am. So that time, I mean, I am always soft with him and he listens to me. He does things. Everything is happening fine. But what is happening is that when he gets angry, ma'am, one time the very bad behavior happened in the school, and he only wants to sit with me. He only listens to me. So what is this kind of connection? I really want to understand from you, ma'am. Though
He,
I'm
you were just valuing his needs, so he is
okay,
connected with you. He feels
okay,
safe,
ma'am.
comfort with you. He know that that person will understand me, so it's better to express myself to her. So they,
Okay,
I mean, there is a bridge of connection between you and the kid.
okay, ma'am. But what about like other teachers and the whole school? Like
You
we
cannot.
generally keep talking.
It can,
Okay,
if they are not changing their behavior, you can just advise
right.
them to change their behavior, and that this is a
Okay,
strategy to deal with the kids. You can talk to them, you can provide the
right.
information, but you cannot advise anyone, because
Cannot
parents are also
absolutely.
teacher. They are also teacher. They know how to deliver
Right,
their
right.
work. You
Absolutely.
can just give your observation. So this is the
Right,
way,
right.
and it's really work good for the kid. So you just advise. I mean, you just provide the information. Rather, it's on their hand. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. One last question I have. Do we have any good and effective strategies to basically implement
Okay.
with the children
For
who? Yeah,
this,
ma'am.
I would like to get a mail from you. We had a FAQ session that will be informed to you. I would like to
Sure, ma'am.
discuss about this type of questions in this session. That will be a very interactive session.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am.
You have my mail ID, right? So you just mail me, and in the subject mention FAQ. Okay.
Ma'am, I don't have it. If I can just have it now and write it down, maybe in the chat box. I have not got your mail ID, ma'am.
Okay. I'm writing my mail ID into the chat
Sure, ma'am.
box.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, that's my mail ID. Okay, you can always share your queries, and we frequently have FAQ session. We can discuss over the questions over there. Okay.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. So kind of you.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you, ma'am. Thank you.
Anybody has any more query regarding today's session? Okay, so I can consider everybody has understood. They at least they have some take home points from today's learning. We will keep coming with some others theories also like this. Okay, yeah, Shweta, you have raised your hand.
No, no, sorry, ma'am. No, no. I was just looking for the chat box. I'm so sorry by mistake.
That's okay. So
Sorry, ma'am. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Okay.
everybody has some take home points from today's session. They have learned something, and I do have learned something from you people also as well. Thank you. Thank you for your inputs. Good night, everyone.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you,
Take
ma'am.
care.
So kind of you. Thank you. Bye, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Avilasha, you want to say something?
Uh,
Avilasha, you want to say something? No, I don't think so.